Really guys? I honestly don't get what the big deal is about this trailer. I'm hoping that a lot of you out there will be seeing what I see. Do any of you guys think this trailer is overrated and looks like every other horror remake? Hey everyone, I'm Jim and welcome back to my movie obsession, and I'm really not feeling this trailer guys. I really like the old Child's Play movies, I like Child's Play 1 to 3 quite a bit. And I think like with iconic slasher horror characters, it rarely turns out well, the remakes. And it always just seems like it's an updated version which loses all the charm and all the things that made the original work. And this for me, it seems like it's going to be that guys, just from this trailer. I just wasn't feeling it.
Don't fuck with the Chuck!
There's a couple of things I didn't like about it. One, I think the kid looks way too old, and is way too old. This kid would be getting absolutely destroyed at school. And I thought to myself watching the trailer, this kid looks too old. And then I actually was confirmed. I looked him up on Wikipedia and the kid's 13. And he looks 13. So you're not helping yourself, mate. You're playing with dolls and you're 13. Even if he's not supposed to be 13, I realised he looked too old anyway. And Andy needs to look innocent. It was his lack of being a proper grown kid that helped him in the first film to be so sympathetic. He was so young, you felt more for him because he had no idea how to react to all this stuff. He was literally lost. He was along for the ride. He was really threatened by Chucky. This kid looks too old. He's ready to start puberty. He wouldn't give a shit about getting a Chucky doll. He'd be after Stacy down the road. The whole technology thing reminds me of Terminator and feels out of place. For me, the original Child's Play had a serial killer invading the innocence of a toy doll. It was an intimate story. This one is like Alexa the horror movie. I get it, but I don't think it fits a doll. I can't see any toy company releasing anything like this. Who would release this doll in this day and age? Doesn't make sense. So it's like they crowbarred the doll idea into the technology storyline. So it doesn't feel natural for me. It feels like they're really trying to make this kind of current. I don't really want to see something about technology taking over in a Child's Play movie. It kind of goes against what that series was about. It wasn't about technology taking over. It was about the innocence of childhood being corrupted.
I said talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch, you filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?
I really felt the trailer looked generic, guys. It just unfolded like a horror trailer. There was nothing really special about it. The bit with his mum screamed try hard scary to me, and I think it was nonsense. To go down there and he finds his mum just hooked up to this contraption, that this fucking doll. I mean, Chucky was a bit comedic, obviously, in the sequels. He never done something this elaborate. He never managed to build a torture chamber for Andy's mum. I feel this is a bit ludicrous. I feel it's like really trying to make Chucky horrific. And I feel like the idea of Chucky is the scary thing. It's not Chucky himself. It was the idea of a serial killer doll trying to steal a body. That's scary shit. For me, it was what Chucky was trying to do and who he was inside. It was the fact that he was a serial killer inside a fucking killer doll. It was scary shit. It wasn't just a scary doll full stop. So they're obviously replacing the icon of Brad Dourif and they haven't revealed who's doing it yet. And that's a concern, guys. Who the fuck's playing Chucky? Seriously, we need to know. It's been tried twice in the horror remakes. It was done with Jackie Earle Haley replacing Robert Englund. And it was done with Bill Skarsgård replacing Tim Curry as Pennywise the Clown. And while Skarsgård wasn't terrible, for me he isn't in the league of Curry, and that movie's not in the league of the original It. Jackie Earle Haley was a load of old arse as Freddy.
What game do you want to play next?
Fuck you.
Ooh, sounds like fun.
It's very, very hard to replace those key horror villains. They even tried it in Hellraiser, even though it wasn't a horror remake. They tried replacing Doug Bradley as Pinhead, and it failed miserably. It was bollocks. And it's disrespectful to replace them and try and do things with another actor. Just make a killer doll movie if you want to do it, guys, but make it good. And the problem is, you can't make it good because you've got no creativity. So what you're doing is you're crowbarring Chucky into a technology horror film. There's obviously way more to come with this, so I'm not dismissing it straight away. I just don't get that initial burst of kind of excitement about this trailer. For me, it was just kind of normal, very, very generic. I think I'm going to much prefer the 80s Child's Play movie. Does anyone out there agree? Is this trailer overrated? What do you think of the trailer? Let me know. Do you think this kid's too old? Do you think he should be playing video games and not dolls? Let's have a chat about the trailer in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, why not watch another? And since we're discussing horror, here's some horror videos I did back in October, so check them out. Please consider subscribing. The main focus of this channel is actually superhero movie reviews and retro movie reviews from the 80s and 90s, but as you can see I'm also a horror fan, so I'm sure there'll be many more looks at retro horror as well as new horror. Thanks for watching everyone, and I will see you next time.